International. And today, in this styling tutorial supported by Cloud Nine, we've got Casey Coleman and his amazing model Ella, who is a Cloud Nine ambassador, who will be using the Cloud Nine Alchemy Wand to create a gorgeous look, which will be perfect for clients in the lead up to the festive season, which he's quite conveniently calling the Christmas cracker. So for more information about Cloud Nine's professional styling tools and indeed the Alchemy range, which Casey will be using today, simply go to professional.cloud9hair.com, which we'll see in the comments as well. So thank you so much, Casey, and to Ella for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having us.
I'm very excited to see this Christmas cracker look.
I'm not literally going to do a Christmas cracker, just to kind of put that out there. But today, what I'm going to do, we've done quite a few lives with the Alchemy range over the past few months, but I decided to use a different tool today, and that was the Cloud Nine Alchemy Wand. It's the waving wand, which has a few different heat settings on it here. And I'm just going to start using that on Ella's hair here while I just chat to you about it a little bit.
Oh, amazing.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 looks in one on Ella. We're going to do a down look, which is like more like a day look. So by the time that December comes around, everybody will be out of lockdown, or the majority of people will be out of lockdown. And you'll be able to go out and about, Christmas shopping, etc. So we're going to switch it from shopping to cocktails. That's what we're going to do, because we all love cocktails. That's not lie. So what I'm going to do is just take slightly diagonal sections, and I'm going to wave Ella's hair all the same direction. So I'm going to wave it away from Ella's face, just to make sure that the hair sits off of her face rather than on her face.
Brilliant. And I'm just going to add, which I probably should have said right at the start, that the amazing Casey Coleman is based in Wales, so his salon is officially open, and hence why he's able to do this amazing tutorial for us on a real model, which I know in some parts of the country we can't do yet. So that is why he's able to do this, which is fantastic, isn't it, Casey?
Yeah, and Ella's actually a team member here at Chair Salons. So we work together every day as well. So we are highly safe. There are no clients in today, which is lovely. So all I'm doing is I'm just kind of slightly moving the wand up and down between each section, but I'm leaving the ends straight, just to kind of create a really nice blunt end, which I think a lot of Pinterest images, a lot of influencer images all have like these really nice wavy bobs with like a really blunt end. And a little tip to create that is just by kind of leaving the end a little bit straight compared to everything else being a little bit wavy. So essentially all we're doing is we're waving down to about here, and then leaving maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches at the end where we're not waving it. Obviously I'm going to use some heat defense. But generally, I would use the quick dry potion on wet and on dry. So as you can see here, there's 2 levels. There's an oil level and there's a liquid level. And when you shake this, you have to shake it to intermix it. And then if you apply it, like I can apply it on top of Ella's hair now. And this won't sizzle, it won't kind of crackle or anything, because it's an oil-based product. Instead, what will happen is it'll just sink into the hair and protect the hair, which is really, really key when using heated tools. So when using Cloud Nine tools, Cloud Nine are known for being prescriptive. And what that means is, it basically means that you can kind of prescribe a specific heat for a specific hair type. So if somebody has fine hair, then you'd use a lower heat. If they have extremely thick, coarse hair, you'd use a higher heat. If they have thick, coarse hair that's damaged, you need to kind of bring that heat down a little bit, just to ensure you're protecting the integrity of the hair.
Fantastic. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about, obviously you're using the Alchemy Wand today, about the benefits of using the Alchemy Wand, the temperature control capabilities of it, and why someone tuning in might want to give it a try themselves on their clients in the salon?
Yeah, I mean, number one, it's extremely easy to use because it's the same width all the way up. So a lot of wands kind of come triangular, whereas this is the same width right the way up. So it actually becomes quite easy to wrap the hair around it, because it's almost like you have muscle memory. So you kind of want to kind of go around it the same way constantly, whereas a lot of the triangular ones, you almost have to kind of get a little bit tighter towards the end. So the Alchemy range is only available in salons, so it's not available online for clients to buy, and it's not available anywhere else other than your specific salon. The plates on every single Cloud Nine product, so for example, this wand here, it has particles of minerals in there. So what it's doing is, as we're using heat on the hair, the minerals in the plate are being released onto the hair, which creates high shine and high nourishment whilst using a heated tool as well. A lot of clients, I'd say, like to feel like they have something exclusive and special and luxury and expensive. And I think because the Alchemy range is specifically only available in salons, not only that, it has quite a few cute, like, rose gold accents, which, you know, everybody loves a bit of rose gold. People go nuts over it, don't they? Oh gosh, yeah, everybody loves a bit of rose gold. I love a bit of rose gold.
I do as well.
So I think that definitely kind of marketing it towards clients as a luxury item is perfect. And it's really, really easy to use as well. A little tip for when using this in the salon is giving it to your client and letting them have a go at using it themselves. And that's a great way to actually market the tool and make sure that they feel like they can use it. And if they feel like they can use it, they want it. And that way you're kind of, I don't want to say quids in because it sounds like you're all about the money. But if you are selling heated tools, then obviously the more heated tools you sell, the more money you earn. But not only that, you know that the next time your client comes in, the condition of her hair or his hair are going to be great because they're using a professional product and they're not using a shop bought product.
Fantastic, Casey. So
Yeah.
what was the inspiration behind the look that you're creating today for us?
I actually love just really a nice casual wave. I think that it's kind of become almost like a staple. A lot of people love a really cool casual wave. But I wanted to create something that somebody could easily do themselves and that's commercial. So regardless of whether you're a hairdresser or not, creating something like this is really easy and accessible whilst using the Cloud Nine Alchemy Wand. But then I also wanted to flip it up and give myself a little challenge. So what we'll be doing is we'll be switching this from day to night. And how we'll be doing that is we'll be using some hair accessories and just switching up the look a little bit later on.
We're excited for that, Casey.
Oh yeah, me too. I love a Christmas cracker. I thought I'd be a little bit camp today with what I called it. So I thought Christmas cracker sounds perfect.
I think it's a great name for it. It's fantastic.
Do you find that everybody's feeling really festive at the moment?
I think we're slowly getting there. I mean, it must help, Casey, the fact that obviously your salon's already open again.
Yeah, I think that we're quite lucky in Wales actually because we only had a 2-week lockdown, whereas obviously England have had 4 weeks. Northern Ireland, wow, I think they're locked down until the middle of December, which I think is really tough. So I think you know, creating something that's Christmassy, something that's a little bit light-hearted, something to improve people's spirits is what I wanted to do, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Wow. So as you can see, I've prepped the back there, so I've already done the back. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the other side here. Could you hold that for me, please? Thank you. Just not like that, so don't give this up. Lovely. But yeah, do you know what? We've been really, really lucky in Wales because we've been allowed to open, and you know, we're really, really busy. And I think that everybody in England, especially when you open next week, just be prepared for how busy you're going to be, because you know, I know a lot of hairdressers are doing additional hours. They'll be working 12-hour days instead of 8 or 9-hour days, and I just like, you know, make sure that you're keeping a bit of time for yourselves, because it's not an easy time, especially when you want, as a hairdresser, you want to please everybody. You want to make sure you can get everybody in, but just also make sure that you're taking time for yourself and you're not overworking yourself, because it can be really tough. The first time that we came back from lockdown, I think we were so busy and we were working extra long days, and it got really quite tumultuous, and it got really it affected our mental health. So I just want to make sure that everybody's kind of, okay, book yourselves, fully book, exactly, but also take care of yourselves as well, because I think that's really important. You know, as the flight attendant always says, you put that face mask on yourself before you put it on somebody else.
I love
So
how the statement is now a face mask instead of a seatbelt.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Fabulous.
Oh dear.
But yeah, so just, you know, just make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. So if you do take care of other people, like we do in our industry, you're at 100% instead of being at 50%.
Most definitely. Were you feeling more anxious or less anxious going back into the salon after the second lockdown?
I was feeling more anxious because I decided to close my business. So I decided that this year was going to be our final year at Chair Salons, and we've not been open long. We've only been open for 3 years, so it's not as if we've been around for a long time. But luckily, we've had quite a great impact locally, and because we are an LGBTQ plus friendly salon and a gender neutral salon, we've definitely grown a reputation locally.
Yeah.
So I think this coming back after the second lockdown and after I'd announced that we'll be closing our doors was actually quite a difficult one this time round. And I believe that, you know, there's going to be plenty of other salons doing the same thing. Unfortunately, you know, luckily, coronavirus didn't affect us financially. It affected us mentally.
Yeah.
At Chair Salons, and we all had a bit of a hit this year with how tough it was. You know, it was really, really tough. So again, which is why I always try and push people to put number one first, because you know, you never know when you're going to be in another lockdown these days.
No, that's true. Yeah, and like you say, I think that was a great statement you made about what they say on the aeroplanes. You've got to look after yourself first before you can look after anybody else.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely. So just before I finish this here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit more up close about the technique that I'm using. I'm going to swap sides. Here you go, and turn L around a little bit. Wonderful. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just wrapping the hair around. So there's two ways you can wrap hair around a wand. You either just wrap it around like that, but what happens is if you just hold it and wrap it round, the hair twists. So the other way you can wrap it round is by literally kind of like folding it round to make sure it's smooth and it's not twisted. You get different curls for those different wraps. So I just want to kind of make sure that, because a lot of people aren't aware of that.
I've lost your video there, Casey.
Am I back?
Oh, you're back.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, so a lot of people, so I'll show you an example here.
Yeah, you do that again, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna, so this one here, this hair is twisted because all I've done is I've just wrapped it round. Whereas, and that looks slightly tighter. And whereas the next one will look a bit smoother. So I'm just gonna smooth down this root area here with my wand. And what I'm almost kind of like folding it round. So I'm almost making sure that it's staying flat to the wand straight away, okay? So I'm going to put that round, I'm going to fold it over, and then I'm going to flip my finger around, fold it over. And even on the wand, it looks differently because it's all in kind of unison, it's not twisted. But then when you take that out, it looks, can you see that? It looks more like a curl,
yeah,
rather than a wave. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So we kind of want that a little bit less. So I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit just by taking my wand up and down that. There you go. And also another great tip as well is if you have any flyaways or anything, I'm going to lean over here a second. Wonderful. If you have any flyaways at the top here, just get a light hold spray, spray that, and then use your heated tool just to smooth that down a little bit.
It's a great tip there, Casey.
Oh, and clients love a little tip. Clients go nuts over tips like that because they know that it'll make their jobs easier when doing their own hair. I've got a lot of clients who they generally have a lot of new hair growing through, and they can never get their frizzy bits, as they call them, bless them. They can never get them to sit flat. So using a hold spray and kind of smoothing that out is great.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
And Kate,
So
I was just going to ask you, because obviously you have been back in the salon. What styling trends have you noticed? What are clients really after at the moment?
everybody's loving a wave at the moment, you know, and everybody's going for this kind of length hair as well. People are loving kind of getting their hair cut off, long bobs. I think people are really, really enjoying having shorter hair again, which as hairdressers, you know, it's like music to our ears because we do like to cut short hair and creative hair. And also mullets are huge at the moment, absolutely everywhere. I love a mullet. I used to have a mullet. Now I've got no hair, unfortunately, now, so I can't have another one. But I might buy a wig and put one on instead.
That's a good idea. There you go. Then you can play with it with your Cloud Nine Alchemy Wand.
Absolutely, all day. There you go. So what I'm doing now is I'm just brushing out that wave, and you can see we just got that really nice, shimmery, soft colour. We actually done this. When did we do this colour? Last week?
Yeah,
yeah, a week ago.
Stunning.
So this colour actually under the ring light looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Lovely. Let's spin you around. Let's brush up this front part here.
And if anyone has any questions, please do feel free to let us know and we can ask Casey for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that would be great. I love a question. That'd be wonderful. Let's give you a little spin. Are we on for 30 minutes, Laura, or an hour?
We're 30 minutes, so we're it's 17 minutes past 12, if that's useful for you to know.
Wonderful, that's perfect. So just a little tip here, just to define your waves. Normally what I would do is brush them all out first, and then give it a little spray, and then press your can into the dent of your wave there, just to really define that wave. And this is what I do for a lot of my Instagram posts, just to kind of really create that really nice defined wave there.
And clients, that's really a great tip. And that's a great tip for clients at home as well, isn't it?
Yeah, really great tip for clients at home. Sorry, I lost you there again.
That's all right.
So yeah, again, clients love that tip. So just give the hair a really nice spray. I'd always spray it with like a soft hold rather than a strong hold. A soft hold is a bit more brushable. It's easy to work with. Whereas when you're using those super strong hairsprays, they can be quite tough to kind of comb through.
And have you noticed, Casey, have you noticed trends being more, from a styling point of view, being more focused on the front of the face rather than the back, with the likes of Zoom taking over and things like that? Or have you not really?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, to be honest, with clients, they always see this anyway. They never really see back here. So they are more inclined to kind of take care of the front more often than not. And especially when it comes to things like Christmas parties are now possibly going to be over Zoom rather than in person. People are going to be wanting to dress up. For example, the BHAs on Monday, they are going to be via Zoom or via a video link. So I'll most certainly be dressing up to watch it.
Me too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
get your card rags
why
on.
not? Yeah.
So I think definitely people are more inclined to spend a bit more time here on what's visible on camera, because they know that they can kind of get away with not having anything to in the back, which is always a winner, really. And it's a time saver. So
brilliant. That's really good.
Okay. So as you can see, Ella's hair is lovely and wavy, really nice. So what we can do, we can kind of keep this for more of a day look, just where it's a bit more casual. It's still quite nice and soft and feminine. But then what we want to do is we're going to kind of switch things up. And I haven't planned anything, so I'm just going to see where I go, Laura.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. I'm sure that will inspire others to experiment as well with the alchemy wand at home.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, like I say, the alchemy wand, it's really, really quite fantastic for ease of use, because it's not hard, it's not difficult to use. It's not difficult to use at all. But not only that, the temperature gauge is super, super important. It's so, so important, because it means that you can really take care of your hair properly. You know, there are a lot of heated products that don't have a temperature gauge on them. And I'm sure they work for a specific hair type, but not all hair types are meant to be hit with a lot of heat. some hair types are very gentle and very vulnerable, and we need to make sure that the temperature that we're using on those vulnerable hair types needs to be lower, much lower.
That's a great tip, Casey. So if you were selling a Cloud Nine Alchemy Wand to a client in the salon, would you recommend what heat setting they should have it on for when
Absolutely.
they home?
So we almost sell it as a prescription. So we say, right, okay, for waves you use 125 degrees. For a bouncy look, 125 degrees. If you want something to be uber sleek, uber straight, 150 degrees. But that's the maximum you should go. Or if somebody has slightly thicker hair, the maximum heat that I'd ever recommend is 175. I'd never recommend any more than that, because what you're doing is you're putting an awful lot of pressure on the hair with heat. I think people often forget that when using things like straighteners, it's not just the heat, it's the tension and it's the pulling. Whereas with a wand, you don't get that, because all you're doing is you're wrapping and you're being gentle. So if somebody has more vulnerable hair, then a wand would be more suited to those for waves rather than straighteners, because you're not putting that additional tension and squeezing and pulling the hair through. Does that make sense?
It does, and I think that's a great tip as well, and that's a good way to explain to clients when they should be opting for the Cloud Nine straightener as opposed to the wand.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the full range is fantastic. So the Alchemy range has 3 products. It has a straightener, a wand, and a hairdryer. So each of them have temperature gauges, which is the classic Cloud Nine go-to is like the prescriptive heat. But they're all fantastic within their own reason as well. So the Alchemy hairdryer is really easy to use. It's sturdy, which I find is really important for a hairdryer, because we need something that's going to be really reliable and not going to kind of conk out on us, or not going to rattle, or not going to become broken within 6 months. And I find that the Cloud Nine hairdryer, I've been using mine, the same one, for a good 2 years, and it's still it's still working great. So
fantastic.
Lovely.
Looking gorgeous. It's looking gorgeous, Casey.
Oh yeah, so I've just added in a little bit more extra volume
today tonight. Yeah, I think we were chatting away over that. Maybe you can just tell us what you were just doing just then.
Yeah, so I just took 3 sections here and backcombed each section. I changed the parting, so Ella's parting started here, but to create a little bit more volume on the left-hand side just here, I flipped some of the hair over so you instantly get volume straight away. But to make sure that it doesn't fall back over, we've backcombed it and intermixed it with some of the hair on this side of the parting. And then backcombed another few sections just to kind of create this really nice, kind of cool texture. And then we're just going to spray this in here. And then on the other side, what we're going to do is we're going to use some cute little hair accessories. And we're going to spin Ella this way. Wonderful. Can I just give you that to hold, please, Ella? Okay. And we're going to use these really, really cute hair accessories. And we're just going to slide these in just like somewhere behind the ear here. So Ella has an undercut under here. So normally, whereas I kind of be more inclined to tell you to kind of like pop it up, I'm actually going to keep the hair down, but just put a few cute accessories in it instead.
Amazing. Hair accessories, they seem to be going from strength to strength, don't they? Everyone's loving them still.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think everybody's going nuts over hair accessories at the moment. And me included. I will happily go and spend a lot of money on hair accessories because I am just obsessed. And these ones in particular are really great. They're by a company called Keller, and they have some really fun, cool accessories. I'm just going to use 2, but I think 2 is plenty. I have 3, but I'm only going to use 2. I'm going to try and use an editing eye. Thank you.
If you have a client and you want to sort of give them that day to night look with some hair accessories, do you have a stock that you can sort of put into the client's hair, or do you charge a little bit extra if they have hair accessories in the hair? How does that work?
So I go to a low budget high street store. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to plug anybody here. And I will spend about £40 on hair accessories. And generally, I have a little bag full of hair accessories.
Amazing.
And we actually had this really young client who wanted their hair curled and sprayed pink. So we curled it, sprayed the hair pink, and we put a few hair accessories in it, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. So would I charge extra for it? No. It's only £2 or £3 a clip. Do you know what I mean? It's not that expensive. Whereas these, I wouldn't give these to clients because they cost a little bit more money, and they're a bit more high end. They're rather keep these for like prolonged rather than like the one-off like little accessories that we can get from any high street store.
But are they great for having in your kit bag for doing your glossy Instagram images featuring?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to. They also have like these little beads that you can kind of like clip onto the hair around here, and they're fantastic. So I'm actually going to post something tomorrow with that in. So keep an eye out on my page on Instagram.
Yeah, fantastic. Everyone tune into Casey's Instagram tomorrow if you want to see that look. This is looking amazing.
I'm going to push you forward. A little bit more. Okay. So as we can see, what we've done is we created a little bit more height here with a little bit of backcombing. And then we created a little bit more texture rather than it being a smooth wave. We've really, really kind of brushed that out and kind of really created a really nice raw texture. And then the other side kind of kept it really nice and smooth and nice and simple with a cute little accessory there. Just a really, really quick 5 minutes to switch from a cute little wave in the day, flip it over, pop in some accessories, and you've got yourself a Zoom party Christmas bracket.
Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous, Casey. Fantastic.
Thank you.
That's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it looks really cute, actually. And I think a little tip as well is to, if you want a like additional height like this is here, spraying it and then manipulating the hair even higher works phenomenally. So if you want to get that even higher again, you can get it higher. If you want it higher again, you can get it higher. So it's all about manipulation using your index finger and your thumb. I'm not going to leave it that high because she looks like there's something about Mary. So I'm going to kind of pull that down a little bit more. But again, when it comes to waves down here, again, you can kind of pull those out and manipulate those waves just to create a little bit more volume and a little bit more texture. I'm loving this kind of like 80s vibe that I feel right now, so I'm loving it.
There's a real retro vibe going with the trends at the moment, isn't there? I think the throwback.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's definitely something that's kind of bringing back vintage, if you will.
Definitely.
But yeah.
Would you be able to do us a little spin around and maybe just give us an outline of what you did to begin with the Cloud Nine Alchemy Wand?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm gonna. So this is the wand that I used today. This is the Cloud Nine Alchemy Wand. I used it on the medium heat because Ella has bleached hair that's medium textured. Generally, it has an auto button, so you can choose an automatic heat that it'll just kind of flick on to once you start using it on the hair anyway. So I just used it and I waved all of this hair in this direction and then all of this side in that direction. So always away from the face instead of towards the face, just to open up the features. And then all we've done is first of all, we brushed that out with a vent brush, and then we used our spray and our can to define our gorgeous waves. And then to switch that from day to night, we flipped over the parting just here to create that additional volume there. And then we also sprayed a little bit of hairspray just in there, just to kind of maintain that and backcombed it. And we also kind of pulled this back here just to create some really nice detail with some super cool hair accessories. So there you have it, your 2-in-1 Christmas cracker.
2-in-1 Christmas cracker, looking absolutely gorgeous there, Ella. Oh, well, thank you so much, Casey. It's been a great session. And
thank you so much.
I do hope all of those tuning in, whether you're in Wales and you're able to put this into practice on clients straight away, or if you're in other parts of the UK that's still waiting to open, this is great inspiration for getting clients festive ready.
Yes, absolutely. And if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me on Instagram at @KCC_hair.
Amazing. And you can also find out more about the Cloud Nine Alchemy Wand by going to professional.cloud9hair.com as well. And as Casey said, it's a professional tool that can only be bought in professional hair salons, which is fantastic from a client point of view. We're getting lots of thank yous and saying how lovely this has been. So everyone's really enjoyed this session, Casey.
Oh, good. I'm really, really glad. Like I said, if any of you have any questions, don't hesitate. Just give me a shout.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Laura.
See you on Monday night for the BHAs.
I'll see you on Monday night. We're dressed up and ready to go.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Bye.
Bye.